Yep.
Sure.
Not ready. No.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Victor Senior High School, Garrett, as it's senior night with a battle against a 6-0 team in the Victor Blue Devils and the Gates Chili coming in with a 4-2 record.
Yeah, it's going to be Victor's last regular season home game, so certainly a special night for these seniors and their friends and relatives. And a beautiful night in mid-October as we near the end of the regular season. Victor, with the 2 seed, pretty firmly locked in, one of the 2 remaining unbeaten teams in Class A with East and World of Inquiry. And then Gates with the 8 seed. Only 8 teams get in the Class A playoff bracket, so still fighting for their playoff lives.
Now, Victor has had 3 one-point wins recently out of their 4 games, so they got to look to score tonight. They have to be able to click on offense because that's what's been lacking for them recently.
Yeah, they've been averaging 25.3 points a game this year, but in the last 4 contests, it's just been 15, 21, 21, and 20, so the scoring's been down. Look for Victor to get on the board early and often tonight against a Gates Chili defense that's lacking.
And this is a Gates Chili team that scores 33 points per game. And Victor's going to start off with the ball here as Jamison Ricigliano gets tackled at about the 38-yard line.
Yeah, so Victor's offense is going to take the field first. This is going to really be a high-scoring battle between 2 teams who like to both run the ball and throw the ball through the air. We mentioned Victor's lack of scoring the last couple games, but for a Gates Chili team, they've been able to score pretty much whenever they want all season long, but it's been their defense the issue.
Yeah, and there's been a change at quarterback, Garrett. Last game we did against Irondequoit on homecoming, it was Eric Torres, the freshman, starting. Tonight it's Jake Laughlin, the senior, getting a starting role back. And Laughlin on the first play of the game is going to fire a deep shot to Ruffalo. He's got him! Big game! Adam Ruffalo inside the 20, and just like that, Victor is in business.
Love the call from Jeff Mandel. Takes a shot first play with his senior quarterback on senior night. Jake Laughlin fires a strike right into the waiting arms of Adam Ruffalo, corrals it right outside the 20-yard line, and Victor's in business just outside the red zone.
Exactly what the Blue Devils needed to start off this game. They're going against a Gates Chili team that scores a lot of points. We mentioned it, 33 points. They're going to have to match them. This could be a barn burner. Handoff on the left side with some space, and it's going to be a gain of about 9 yards for Nate Harris, the 10th grader, at tailback.
Yeah, talk about getting settled into the game. Laughlin, a 40-yard throw on his first pass of the game. That'll definitely be a confidence booster for him. Look for Victor to take many more air shots as this Gates Chili secondary is weaker than some of the ones they've been facing the past couple of weeks.
So on 2nd and short, the Blue Devils have 3 up to the outside. They're going to do a handoff to the left with Ricigliano. Jamison Ricigliano with some space. Ricigliano, is he in? Down at the 1, they'll mark him. But it's a close play there as Ricigliano almost got the touchdown.
Yeah, right to the power run game with Ricigliano. He's more the power running back, and we've seen Nate Harris and other guys in the backfield a little more dynamic in speed, but Ricigliano can pretty much provide everything as he runs it down to the 1, and Victor, just 3 plays into the game, already at the 1.
This has a Dre Yomas touchdown written all over it. They're going to give the handoff to Yomas up the middle. He's not even touched. He walks in. Touchdown, Blue Devils. That's how you start it off here on senior night.
Yeah, not much resistance early on from the Gates Chili defense. Just 4 plays. Victor able to walk right down the field. So certainly some adjustments need to be made, but he almost punches it in for another touchdown for the junior running back.
And now Mason Overton with the extra point attempt. It's up and through. So Victor 7-0. How many plays was that? Only 4. And Victor feeling great, looks great, everything. Probably the smoothest drive they've had all season, Garrett.
Yeah, Michael, we mentioned the changeup at quarterback they've been having going on. First it was Jake Laughlin starting the first 4 games, and then Eric Torres came in and replaced him for a game and a half after that. And then Laughlin thrown back into the lineup, led a comeback against Churchville Chili, a game they trailed by 12. Able to get a winning touchdown to the birthday boy Nick Leonard to take that one home by 1, 20-19. And then Laughlin, first play of the game, back starting, fires a strike to Adam Ruffalo, and the Blue Devils get on the board early.
This is everything you could have asked for. This is what we said coming into this game. You have to score, you have to score, you have to score. And Victor does it efficiently, easy, and they didn't even have a long situation. It was 2nd and short, 1st and 10, 1st and goal, and they got it done.
Yeah, Victor, being the powerhouse in football that they've been over the past 5 or 10 years, certainly wants to get back and hold up that sectional block once again. And that 6-0 record looks nice and all, but you're going to have to score points in sectionals, so nice job of doing it so far here tonight.
Overton kicks it away, and a little bit of trouble for Jamie Tantalo, and he's just rumbling, and he'll actually pick up a few yards at the 20. He took a few guys with him, and we'll see the first drive now for Gates.
Yeah, it looks like it was a little bit of a slow start off the bus from Gates. See if they can wake up on their first offensive possession, as Victor's just taking it to him so far.
And Garrett, the first play, the huge 40-yard shot to Adam Ruffalo, he's been the star for Victor, like we mentioned on our past broadcast, but he's an AGR Player of the Year candidate right now. So this is a quarterback draw just right up the middle. Not getting a lot of yards is Jonathan Vance. And it's going to bring up 2nd and long and 2nd and 9.
Yeah, quarterback power right there to start the game. Expect a lot of that from Gates, as they like to run it in a plethora of ways. But you mentioned Ruffalo, nothing special there, just really a go route, able to get behind the secondary. And
the speed's amazing.
Laughlin's ball was on time and on target.
Not a lot of deep shots we saw last home game, which we did when Irondequoit came into town. Different scenario here to start it off. It's a completed pass on the outside, going to bring up 3rd and 1.
Well, we've seen a lot from Victor as teams are starting to put a couple extra guys into the box to stop Yomas and Ricigliano, who have been so dominant in the run game, and to try to keep the ball out of Ruffalo's hands, whether it's through a direct snap or a screen pass. But there, he was able to just beat them deep, and Victor can pretty much go as far as Ruffalo and Laughlin and Leonard want to take them, as long as they can continue to convert on those deep shots.
Yeah, consistent play. That's what I think Victor's really going to be looking for, Garrett, down the stretch come sectional time. So 3rd and short for Chilai. Man in motion. Another quarterback draw right up the middle with Vance. He's going to get it. That's a 1st down for Gates.
Yeah, some classic just smash-mouth football early on from Gates. A couple of quarterback draws right up the middle. The old heads in the 50s and 60s would love what they're seeing, with just blocking up front and quarterback charging right ahead for a gritty couple of yards.
Yeah, and on the second play of the game, just a nice curl route on the outside by Jeremy Tantalo. Gets a manageable 3rd down, 3rd and short. They run it right up the middle. They're throwing it to the outside here. It's going to be a dropped pass by Anthony Vasquez. He was wide open. He could have gotten a few extra yards on that play and would have probably set up a 2nd and short.
Yeah, Gates Chilai about getting themselves in good positions, trying to stay on target in there, just not able to connect, so it'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
For this Gates team, Garrett, the guys that we've circled, we look at. You look at Jonathan Vance, their quarterback. That's one of their big guys. You look at Joseph Garcia, the running back for them, and a linebacker. He's going to be involved a lot tonight as well. And Tremaine Pulley, expect to see him in there again. And Vance right up the middle, QB draw. We've seen this for the 3rd time now tonight already. That's a gain of 3. 3rd and 7 coming up.
Yeah, Gates Chilai has to make sure they stay on schedule tonight, as Victor's got a very explosive defense who's capable of making big plays. Again, led by safety Adam Ruffalo in the secondary, and also Nick Leonard off the edge, able to create havoc in the rest of the D-line. And the linebackers in secondary are great supporting cast as well.
And Victor, come sectional time in a few weeks, they'll be happy to see their man Jackson Pelosi coming back. A great defender for them, and they've missed him these last few games. Another run by Vance, and I don't know if that was by design. Garrett looked like he stumbled and tripped forward, but this is 4th down and about 5. So Victor, after allowing 1 first down, the Spartans of Gates Chilai charted off the field, and they're going to punt this ball away.
Yeah, it looked like it was Anthony Vasquez sent in motion, little misdirection, tried to catch him off guard, and then they were going to try to power it up the middle, but Victor was ready, and Gates Chilai was going to have to punt in their first possession.
Oh, the punt is almost blocked, and it is! Dre Yomas on his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Victor! What a play there. It's his 2nd touchdown of the game already. Yomas everywhere in this first quarter.
Yeah, Coach Jeff Mandel knew it was senior night, wanted to get on the board with some explosive plays. First it was the deep shot, and now he sends the pressure on the blitz, and Yomas is the one who blocks it and picks it up, brings it into the score. Already 2 touchdowns on the board, and we're not even 4 minutes in. Victor couldn't have asked for a better start.
Everything going right for the Victor Blue Devils this first quarter. Not even 4 minutes in, like you said. That's crazy what has already happened and transpired so far this game. Victor, they've been looking for a get-right game, and so far this may be it. Mason Overton's point after is through. 14-0 Blue Devils. And this has been an explosive start.
Yeah. Special teams coordinator Coach Sean Rucker dialed up pressure in the correct moment there. It looked like they had 3 or 4 guys pressuring the punter. It was Yomas who blocked it, but a whole committee of Blue Devils swarming the punter. And it works out as Victor able to trance into the end zone. They'll take a 14-0 lead, and Gates Chila is still a little shocked at what's been thrown at them early on.
We'll bring you into the broadcast booth. Michael Ricci alongside Garrett Clar. We're excited to be doing this game tonight. Got a little bit of a better connection this time with the whole video and audio setup. But a beautiful atmosphere on our hands, Garrett. The Victor student section is out in pink tonight. I don't know if that's for October and breast cancer awareness, but it's a different choice that we've seen in the student section, but nonetheless, an excellent crowd, an excellent atmosphere, like always here at Corbett Field.
Yeah, supporting everything that the month of October stands for is the student section. You love to see that. But Victor coming out of the gates strong tonight.
And now on the kickoff, Chilai and Jeremy Tantalo is going to bring it to about the 27-yard line.
Similar field position here for Gates Chilai as their last drive. Last time they were able to just get 1 first down before the punt eventually got blocked and returned for a score. So Gates Chilai trying to do more on this possession. Keep the ball out of Victor's hands, honestly, as Victor's just been very explosive tonight, and Gates is going to have to try to slow that down and just muster out the rest of this first quarter, see if they can settle in a little bit.
And if you're a fan of Gates Chilai, you're going to look to see more out of this offense instead of just QB draws right up the gut every time. They're going to throw a little screen pass on the outside to Caleb Giddens. Gets about 5 yards. And 2nd and 5 coming up now for the Spartans. But you gotta see more. This is kind of the offense that Victor ran last game we did against Irondequoit, where it was very vanilla, not a lot of shots, underneath shots, ran the ball 90% of the time. And it's not going to lead to a lot of scoring, especially against this Victor defense, or against really any defense in Section 5 if you're playing a high-caliber team.
It was less than a second.
And here is the QB draw, Vance right up the middle, spinning his way for about 4 or 5 yards, and they're going to give him the first down, it looks like. Yeah, they're going to move those chains, Garrett. So just as I bash the QB draw, spinning forward is Jonathan Vance, and that's a first down for the Spartans.
Yeah, and Michael, you wonder if it's more of a mistrust with the offensive line to block for longer periods of times, as so far it's just been running right up the gut quickly or just throwing the ball outside, getting the ball into playmakers' hands. So far they have not dropped back and let routes develop down the field, as Victor's defensive line has a clear advantage against the Gates offensive line.
1st and 10 for Vance and the Spartans. Oh, a bobble handoff, and Vance somehow catches that. What a concentration play there by Jonathan Vance. That was another disaster written all over it. The ball was fumbled on the handoff, kind of just bounced right up in the air, right into Vance's lap.
Yeah, maybe a little lack of technique and focus early on from Gates, as they just seem 1 beat slower than Victor, and it's paid off on the scoreboard so far.
One of the players' helmets fell. Oh, really?
So Vance actually gains 2 yards.
He went off right away.
So 2nd down now for Gates Chilai.
How was your guy? It's like he knew it was going to happen.
Vance, he's taking a shot, and he had his man, Caleb Giddens, and he just missed him. That was a wide open touchdown. And Victor with a scheme issue right there. That was a busted coverage.
Yeah, Jonathan Vance just doesn't get enough air under. We saw Caleb Giddens on the screen earlier. This time gets behind the secondary, even behind Adam Ruffalo, which we don't see a bunch. With the ball just not on target from Vance, he'd love to have that throw back.
I mean, he was wide open right up the seam, and Vance just straight up missed him. So now it sets up a 3rd and 8 instead of a big game-changing touchdown. 3rd and 8 from their own 42. Vance rolls out left. Looking for somebody, but Dre Yomas right there in a sea of Victor defenders. What a first quarter by Dre Yomas. 2 touchdowns and now a sack. And Victor's going to get this ball back. It's 4th down.
Looked like Yomas might have grabbed a little piece of the face mask there, but no flag on the play. A 4th and 10 or
12.
11.
Yeah, 4th and 12.
We saw the last Plunkett block. See if Gates provides a little more protection this time around.
Jeez, almost Yomas getting in there and through again. Bounced once and Ruffalo has it, making few man miss. Ruffalo to the outside. Gets a nice gain on his return, and it's going to be a good field position for the Blue Devils. And this is their 2nd trip on offense now.
Yeah, Victor, just 1 trip on offense because of the special team score. And the first time down, there was little resistance from the Spartans' defense. So we'll see if they look to throw the ball down the field again, or we see more of the rushing attack, which we're so used to.
Well, Garrett, to start off this new drive, we'll talk about the sponsor of tonight's broadcast, Molly V's Ice Cream. You love to see Molly V's at whatever event they're at. It means it's going to be good. It means it's going to be exciting. The ice cream's great, and we can't recommend it enough. Eric Young getting the toss right there, and he gets thrown backwards. A great stop by Quentin Cato, the senior.
Molly V is some of the best homemade ice cream. Now moving in a storefront in the village of Victor. Definitely check them out if you're in town. Now in their 2nd year of business. Doing well for sure, and the sky's the limit.
No sophomore slump with them. So 2nd and 12 after a loss of 2 on 1st down. Young in motion once more. Fake the toss to him. Lachlan throws to the outside and just misses his man Andrew Goodell. He had him open.
Yeah, Goodell and Leonard running out routes to the outside there, and Lachlan off the play action. Looked like he was trying to maybe get it to Leonard, but he was held up a little bit from the Gates Charlie linebackers. So he tried to get it to Goodell, but a couple feet outside his reach. Bring up a 3rd and 12. See if Victor can convert here, prevent punting the ball right back to Gates.
So very quickly now, a 3rd and long for the Blue Devils. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left of this first quarter. Lachlan takes a snap. Going to throw down the field looking for Ruffalo. A dangerous pass. And nearly brought down by Ruffalo, but that could have easily gone the other way and been intercepted. Ruffalo was in double coverage right there by Tantalo and Giddens. A dangerous pass over the middle of the field by Lachlan.
Yeah, it looked like Lachlan facing some pressure, just said to himself, Ruffalo's got to be down there somewhere. And it almost worked out as Ruffalo got a hand on the ball. Just couldn't corral it as he fell to the ground in the depths of the double coverage. And now Ruffalo will punt it away.
He does everything for this team. He's the star along with Nick Leonard. But it's really Adam Ruffalo's team, and he's been totally a beast this year. And it takes a nice Victor bounce, and this is going to go about the 20, and it's going to be picked up by Gates and losing yards. Is Anthony Vasquez, a poor decision on picking that ball up, and Gates is going to be set up at the 15.
Yeah, we saw it from Vasquez on the opening kickoff as well for Gates when they got the ball first after Victor marched down the field, and it was the same thing where he let the ball bounce. This time he decided to pick it up, which he should not have done. Is cost him about 10 yards. Definitely 15 or 20 if he had just gone up and fair caught it.
So Garrett, if you're the Spartans of Gage Chili right now on this drive, this will be their 3rd of the game. There hasn't been a lot of explosive play so far, besides the miss to Giddens on the deep shot. I'll get back to you right after this first play on 1st and 10 from their own 14. A handoff up the middle to Pulley. Ball is out. Victor's saying the ball's out. Hold up, we got to scram here. A pile. Victor signaling it's their way. Referees have no official ruling yet. They're still searching for it. And it's Victor football. A huge turnover on the first carry of the game by Tremaine Pulley. And he loses the ball, and Victor flips field position immediately after the 3 and out, and they're in the red zone to start off their third drive of the game. And Garrett, I was going to ask you about what Gates needs to do on offense, and I guess you wouldn't have told me that they should fumble on that first play. Lachlan handing off to Harris, not getting a lot of yards right there. And there's a flag on the field.
Holding on the offense there. Not sure who they got, but it'll bring Victor back. But we opened up with a huge play by the offense. Then we got a huge play by the special teams. Now the Victor defense chiming in with their big fumble recovery. Couldn't quite tell. Looked like Pulley's momentum might have been stopped and just a scrum at the bottom. And that's one of those scenarios where you never really know where the football goes. It's just as soon as the ref gets to the bottom of the pile, whoever has it is who's getting the ball.
Yeah, just wait till he makes the ruling. We have no idea what's going on there. We probably don't want to know what's going on down there. But 1st and 20 now for the Blue Devils after the penalty. Ricigliano trying to get to the outside and getting brought down by Tantalo right away. And it's 2nd and 20 after no gain.
Yeah, great job by Tantalo not to lose contain of the outside edges. Ricigliano tried to bounce it out there, but Tantalo brought him down and bring up a 2nd and 21 now. It looked like Ricigliano might have even lost a yard.
Yeah, he lost a yard. So Victor, after the huge turnover and the fumble, getting possession inside their own 15-yard line. They're at the 29, all the way back. And not executing on offense so far. The penalty and then the loss of yards on the run. Play action to Ricigliano. Lachlan stepping up under pressure. Oh, he's going to run for it. He's going to gain back to penalty yardage, it looks like. So it'll be 3rd and probably about 11.
Yeah, great pocket presence there from Lachlan, stepping up in the pocket and just running, getting it back to a 3rd and manageable. But you'd have to imagine this is 4th down territory for a Victor team who only attempted a couple field goals on the season. So maybe Coach Mandel is going to try to draw up maybe a 5 or 6 yard play, see if they can get that to a 4th and manageable, and then work from there.
They're saying Lachlan stepped out a little bit early, so it'll be 3rd and 14, the official ruling. Ball on Victor's Gates Chili's 23-yard line with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Lachlan, a deep shot for Leonard, and he can't find him. Just kind of sails out of the back of the end zone, and it's going to be 4th down. And Victor with a decision now. I'm assuming, Garrett, that this is out of Mason Overton's range. But we will see what the decision is.
Yeah, not quite sure. Bottom looks like they are going to try to kick it.
Yeah. So this would be a season long for Overton this year if he could make this field goal.
And a career long as well from 40 yards. Ball will be spotted right about the 29.
The snap's away. Holds down. Kick. It looks short, and it is short. So a missed field goal by the Victor offense. They kind of shot themselves in the foot on that drive. The penalty, incomplete pass, maybe missing a guy or two, and they could not convert on the big-time turnover brought by the defense.
Yeah, points certainly left on the board there. Victor taking over in such prime-time position, but not able to do anything with it. We did learn a lot on that kick, though, as we move towards the end of the season. Sectionals will start in a couple weeks. We now know field goal kicker Mason Overton's range is about that 30, 35-yard line if it comes down to it in a bigger game.
So Gates Chili back on the field for offense, and Vance dropping back. Just going to dump it underneath. Oh, and laying a nice truck right there is Joseph Garcia. He's one of the running backs we mentioned. He's strong and powerful. You saw it on that play, and it's a gain of 7 yards.
Yeah, it's usually Ricigliano doing the trucking, but this time Garcia laid the boom right on Ricigliano for an 8-yard gain to move this to a 2nd and 2. Looked like not much was brewing there as they tried to fake a screen to the right side and come back to the near side. Ended up working out as Garcia made something happen.
In motion is Giddens. Giddens on the outside, looking for some space. Oh, and a great tackle by the Victor defense. Over there is Kyle Sager. That's a nice play to not allow a first down, and it's third down for this Spartans offense. With 2 minutes and 40 seconds left of this first quarter, they haven't really had a lot of great plays on offense so far, Garrett. We know the big miss to Gibbons earlier. We'll probably be saying that for the rest of the game.
Yeah, certainly a lost opportunity there, but Gates just needs to settle back into this game, pick up a first down here, get this to the second quarter, get the crowd to quiet down a little bit on the senior night, and move from there.
Flag flies. This is definitely a penalty on Gates Chile. That's going to move them back 5 yards and make it a much more difficult third down.
You see the pink flags being used by tonight's officials as we see the crucial catch movement all throughout the NFL making its way to the college, high school, and Pop Warner levels as well.
Yeah, the NFL moved away from using all pink apparel to more of a neutral for the crucial catch and looking at all different types of cancer. But the high school level, it's still pink. And it's always kind of cool to see that in the month of October. So third and long, 3rd and 7. Vance stepping up, fires a shot right to his man Tantalo. Can't catch it. That's good defense by Andrew Goodell, putting his helmet right on his chest. And it's 4th down for Gates Chile.
Yeah, would have been a first down, but Goodell came up, made a nice hit from the secondary, jarred the ball out. Gates Chile going to be forced to punt from around their own 15.
They left a vapor trail.
So Chile to punt it away. They've had some issues so far tonight. We'll see what happens on this punt. They do get it away. And it's a good punt. Ruffalo takes it. Makes one man miss. Ruffalo with space inside Gates Chile territory and down at the 41-yard line. He will go out of bounds. Victor coming back on the field. Looking to have a better drive than they had last time.
Yeah, great starting field position yet again. We'll see if they can convert unlike last possession. We saw Laughlin take a deep shot last possession. Ruffalo ran a post to the back of the end zone and Leonard on the seam route.
Couldn't connect on either of those, unlike the first drive where Ruffalo was just wide open up the middle. We'll see if that changes here. Laughlin on the handoff to Ricigliano. Ricigliano with good blockers out in front of him. He gets a nice gain of about 8 yards.
Yeah, good job on first down there. Able to avoid the holding call like they had last time down the field, which set them back to what eventually led to the missed field goal. But here, able to get a nice 8-yard gain from Ricigliano as Yomas comes onto the field for him now.
In last game, Garrett, against Irondequoit, Victor was missing one of their key offensive linemen, Anthony Battaglia. He's back out there, and he's going to be a big help on the right side of that offensive line. So a little bit of couldn't really see what happened on that play, but Ruffalo nonetheless takes it for a first down. They're going to rule it. Looked like there was some confusion on that snap.
Yeah, it looked like a little miscommunication between Ruffalo and Yomas. Ruffalo expecting Yomas maybe to come a little closer to him and take the handoff, but Yomas started running before he even got the ball. So Ruffalo takes it himself. Works out in Victor's favor as they pick up a new set of downs.
And this is what you see from Victor. Adam Ruffalo, the player that does everything, playing quarterback now for the Blue Devils with the 1st and 10 at Gates Chile 30-yard line. Our handoff up the middle. Oh, wow. And a big tackle right there by Christian Rivera. He just grabbed Dre Yomas and spun him backwards. That's a grown man tackle right, Garrett.
Yeah, that's a grown man making a grown man play. Yomas thought he was going to get the best of him, but just absolutely throwing him back as that'll take us to the end of a first quarter in which Victor put up 14 points in the first 4 minutes, but stalled a little bit after. Gates Chile, still a donut on the scoreboard.
We'll be back with you to start off
Merchant Little Home Show.
So we're back to start off the second quarter. Lachlan going to throw it to the outside to Ruffalo. Looking to get some space. Adam makes a nice cut. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and short.
Garcia trying to jar the ball loose at the end. Flag flies in late.
There's a penalty marker now.
Possibly a late hit of some sort. Maybe a holding. So it'll end up being a horse collar on the tackle against Ruffalo. The refs will discuss.
They call a face mask. 50. This is going to be a 15-yard penalty.
Spartans.
And that is something that Gage Charlie definitely did not want.
5 yards.
Excuse me, 5 yards in high school. This is 15 in college and in the NFL. Got a little bit confused right there.
Yeah, not as much of a momentum swinger on the face mask call. Just 5 yards, but still 1st and 10 in the red zone now.
Handoff to Goodell. Goodell just plowing straight forward. Right over right guard. He goes 2nd and short now. A good run by Andrew Goodell on 1st down.
Yeah, great job of just following where the blockers led him there. And it works for a gain of 7.
Gain 7 will be 2nd down.
You gotta love the effort early out of junior Andrew Goodell. A couple nice plays on defense and now getting involved in the rushing attack as well.
So 2nd and 3. Victor looking to capitalize in the red zone this time. Harris to the outside. Harris gets upended by Joseph Garcia, the running back and linebacker for this Gage Chi squad. And they're going to say he's short or... They're going to give him a 1st down, Garrett. That was right at the sticks, right at the marker. But Harris, they're giving him the 1st down.
Yeah, we've seen more out of Andrew Goodell and now Nate Harris tonight. It's usually just Ricigliano and Yomas getting the majority of the carries, but Victor trying to work in some other running backs as well tonight, and they've played well.
So Lachlan hands it off to Goodell up the middle, and a big hit, but a gain of about 3 yards. So 2nd and goal now for this Victor offense. And you don't want to see them stall in this drive if you're a Victor fan.
No, this needs to end in a touchdown for Victor, especially after the last drive stalled and ended up in a missed field goal. Victor looking to get points back on the board. It's almost been a full quarter's time since they last scored. Really just put an end to any Gates Chi hope that's left out there.
So Lachlan, with Ruffalo in motion behind him, hands it off to Ricigliano. Ricigliano right into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Devils. Jamison Ricigliano puts Victor up 20-0 in this 1st half.
Yeah, just smash mouth football again there. Ricigliano runs it out wide this time, but fake. Looked like they put Ruffalo in motion there, try to draw some defense out there, and it did work as Ruffalo, not much defense from the Spartans in the way, and he's able to prance in. Victor will look to add on the extra point, make this a 21-0 ball game.
Overton's kick is up and through. And Victor with a 21-0 lead at this start of this second quarter. So far, a great night for the Victor Blue Devils all around.
Yeah, maybe what the Victor faithful needed as well. We mentioned all the close games they've been having. It was a 1-point victory over Webster Schrader here at Victor, and then an away game in which they beat Brighton by 14, but then they came back here and defeated Irondequoit in overtime by 1. Last week, another nice road win in a game they trailed by 12, 19-7, able to come back and win that one by 1. So maybe just for the sake of all the fans out there, they just needed a blowout, catch their breath, and let some of the other guys get involved for Victor.
So now Victor will kick it away off the Gates Chi, and they're looking to get more. They're trying to get into a rhythm on offense. This has been very stagnant so far tonight. Not a lot of explosive plays. Nothing that really has been eye-popping from the offensive side of the ball for Gates. And they're going to try to look to change that. We know they score points. They've scored 33 points per game this year. You haven't really seen that so far tonight. Tanselo on the return for Chi. He's going to get brought down by a sea of Victor defenders. Andrew Goodell, I think, was the first guy in there. So at the 26-yard line is where the Spartans will start off this drive.
Yeah, you mentioned how high-powered of an offense the Spartans have, but they haven't faced many defenses like Victor's, who's going to get after the quarterback, who's not just going to let him run it right up the middle and hit quick screen passes. They're going to make him work for everything, and so far Gates has not been up to the challenge.
Yeah, and if you're a Gates Shiloh fan, are you wondering that was it more of the opponents that they have played not being at the same caliber as the Blue Devils, or is this just a real off night? Anthony Vasquez gets the end-around toss to him, and that's just a great tackle by Yomas first, and losing yards on first down is this Gates Shiloh offense.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of reasons for Gates' struggles early on in this one. I think it's a little bit of both, as Gates' strength of schedule is certainly not quite like what Victor's is, but also Gates just not looked very sharp tonight on both sides of the ball, really, and in all three factions, as well as they had a punt block for a touchdown.
So 2nd and long for this Gates Shiloh offense. Vance on the QB draw that we've seen very frequently tonight, but he's getting good yards here, and he's running for a first down. Jonathan Vance taking men with him, and it's a first down for this Gates Shiloh offense. He literally looked like a running back out there. That was just a fullback, maybe. Hunter Lipke, I look to for the Dallas Cowboys. He's just a big, powerful fullback, and that's what it looked like on that play.
Yeah, Vance just showing us that power, lower half. Those legs just keep on churning.
Or Christian Okoye, the fullback that was a Hall of Famer for the Chiefs back in the day. Jonathan Vance just looking like a pure runner out there. Maybe not with the speed, but with the power. A handoff up the middle to Garcia. He gets a nice gain on that play, and it's going to bring up 2nd and short.
Gates Shiloh finally starting to get something brewing early on. Still not even 50 total yards of offense in the contest. Approaching midfield now, though. This is the farthest they've gotten the ball towards Victor territory. They still have not had the ball on that other side of the 50. See if Jonathan Vance can make a couple more plays with his feet, maybe air it out.
Look for his man, Caleb Giddens, downfield. We know he has a lot of speed, and they missed him earlier. We'll see if they'll try to go to him. But Vance, right up the gut. First down for Gates Shiloh, and pushing his way forward into Victor territory is Jonathan Vance and this Spartans offense. And now they're getting into a little bit of a rhythm here so far.
Yeah, we don't see it as much as at the high school level, where the running back's momentum is stopped and then all the offensive linemen and everyone else comes and pushes them forward, but looked like that might have helped out for a couple extra yards there. The QB draw proving to be effective on this drive.
Yeah, and Garrett, you mentioned that it's not common to see that at the high school level, but that's Gates Shiloh's identity on offense. They like to pound the football with their quarterback and their 2 running backs out there, and they'll do it all night. Vance now taking a shot deep downfield for Tantalo, and just threw it too far out of bounds. Didn't really give his receiver a chance on that play. But the running game for this Gates Shiloh offense can only go so far. When you're down 21-0, you can't run the ball all game unless you got off to a start where you really had a good start on offense, you put up points, and you're able to sit back and protect the lead.
Yeah, definitely. Tantalo was behind the secondary there. If you're Jonathan Vance, you got to lead that ball, obviously not out of bounds, but more towards the middle of the field. Let him go make a play on the ball.
Vance running the ball himself, making people miss, taking people forward, and keeps on going. Oh, ball's out! Adam Ruffalo has it! Down the sideline, he will go! The second defensive touchdown and special teams touchdown for the Blue Devils tonight. 27-0. Adam Ruffalo, are you kidding me?
Yeah, Adam Ruffalo, sick and tired of Jonathan Vance just powering his way through everyone. Just says, I'll take that. Returns it 60 yards to the house. We told you Adam Ruffalo can do it all, both on offense and on defense.
And he's proven it so far tonight, Garrett.
Yeah, what the kids like to call cookies. Right there, ball just stripped right out of his hands.
So Overton's extra point now. A high snap. Hold us down though, and the kick is up and through. 28-0 Victor in this second quarter. The big play so far. First play to start off the game. Adam Ruffalo on the deep shot. Then they punch it in very efficiently. On the ground with Dre Omas. The blocked punt. Dre Omas, touchdown. And then right there, Adam Ruffalo just takes Jonathan Vance's football right off his chest and sprints down the sideline. There's no chance they're catching him. That's an easy touchdown for the Blue Devils all day. And we'll be back with you right after the teams and the special teams coordinators finish talking up. 6 minutes and 50. I thought it was going to be close, actually, because Victor hasn't been playing that good. So now Victor kicks it away. And there goes big Joseph Garcia just plowing forward.
Takes a whole slew of Victor defenders to bring him down, but don't know why Gates keeps letting the kickoff bounce before they pick it up. Really been hurting their field position.
You could get 10 extra yards probably just by simply catching it in the air.
Michael, you mentioned when they were down 3 scores that you can't just run QB draws all game as the clock's going to keep running. Now down 4 scores, that's even more the case. So Gates Child going to have to go to the air attack at some point. The rushing attack did prove a little more successful on that last drive, but Ruffalo able to completely flip any momentum that Gates Child had.
And Garrett, that's exactly what a star does for you. When Gates Chile finally kind of got into a rhythm and identity on offense so far in this game, it's the best drive we've seen out of them so far tonight. Adam Ruffalo says, okay, hold up, we're going to slow them down, and I'm just going to flip the whole game and absolutely change everybody's mind and change the momentum, 28-0. That's something that not a lot of players do in Section 5 and throughout high school football, and Adam Ruffalo is one of those guys.
Yeah, Gates Chile does not seem too bothered by the scoreboard as they go right back to pounding it with the run.
But you're right. They're going to have to change it up if they want any chance or if they want to be competitive. You're going to have to start throwing the ball at some point, maybe in a different way, and we'll see if there's a halftime adjustment in 6 minutes. But so far, the identity of Gates Chile looks to remain the same, and it's gonna, right on cue. Vance up the middle, getting no yards, maybe a pickup of 1.
And Michael, there's a reason we don't see Army and Navy often come back from 28-point deficits because can't really pass the ball and they sort of refuse to do it. And yeah, Gates is going to take an Army and Navy approach to this game. I don't think it's going to end up in their favor.
Yeah, this approach works when you're out in front, you have a lead, you're protecting the game, you're not trying to create a lot of turnovers on offense for yourself. But so far, even that strip just kind of counters what I just said. But they're trying to. It looks like they're trying to protect something. There's nothing to protect right now. You have a 0 on the scoreboard. You're down 28-0. We'll see if they change it up at halftime or even on this drive, but they won't. Here's Vance up the middle, getting a couple yards. This is going to bring up a 4th down. This is definitely go for it territory for Gates Chile, and we will see what happens here. If they get a 1st down, Garrett, then they can get into a little bit of a rhythm maybe and try to get points before the end of this first half. But if you turn the ball over right here on 4th and 3, this is setting up Victor to close out this half with a really, really comfortable lead.
Yeah, they're going to have to go for it. 4th and 3, although they've had some good punts so far tonight. Scoreboard sort of forcing them to make a different decision.
A flip backwards to Garcia. This play's blown up. That's a fumble. It doesn't matter. It's a turnover on downs anyways. Victor gets the ball. And 28-0. with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left of this first half. The Victor Blue Devils are back on offense in Gage Twilight territory, and this has been a get-right game so far.
Yeah, the game plan coming in from Gates was obviously to control the clock and just run it, pound it up the middle, not try to pass too much. And it was a good game plan coming in as they were the outclassed team. But it's all about adjustments. That's what makes football teams great. And so far we haven't seen that from Gates as they've refused to go to the pass. That time they tried to flip it with a little bit of an option play, but just a lack of execution there.
Yeah, the toss was behind Garcia from Vance. Flag flies. Lachlan misses his man Kyle Sager out in the flat. We'll see what the penalty is.
Penalty markers down.
This looks to be on Victor, Garrett.
Yeah, maybe something with the way they lined up. Something along the lines of an illegal shift.
And that's what it is.
Start against Victor.
A false start, actually, for this Victor offense. So 1st and 15 now. That moves them back 5 yards. And Victor, Garrett, besides the first drive, I haven't been overly impressed from this Victor offense. It's been much better than the weeks that they've had recently, especially the last 4 weeks. But nothing that's been really surprising or just eye-popping as a viewer, besides really the Adam Ruffalo plays that we've seen so far tonight. Handoff to Rosigliano on the right side. Rosigliano, cutting upfield. What a run by Jameson Rosigliano. This sets up a 2nd and short,
Jameson Rosigliano.
showing his quick burst on that run.
Second and short.
Yeah, Michael, you mentioned Victor's offense. They've been good, but they have been able to get stopped by this defense. And
Yeah.
the scoreboard, it's because of the defensive touchdown and the special teams touchdown. Victor's offense hasn't been put into many high-pressure situations, and I think that's allowed them to sort of do what they want. But if they score here, again, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, get the lead up over 30, it's going to be hard to come back.
I definitely think that is the case if 30 points or more is on the scoreboard. And here's Ruffalo on the outside. Adam Ruffalo with space, tiptoeing his way at about the 10. So it's going to be a
Ruffalo with the reception.
first
Down,
down for the Blue Devils. See if it's 1st and goal. Maybe 1st and 10, and there will be a marker for the first down at about the 1 or the 1-inch line. But nonetheless, Victor's in business, 1st and 10. And they can flip this game and make it a blowout with one play, Garrett. If you get into this end zone, I don't think there's any chance of Gage Twilight really coming back. So handoff on the left side to Yomas. Yomas breaks a tackle. Yomas makes another man miss. Yomas spins in. Touchdown, Victor. And Dre Yomas putting on a show so far tonight. That's his 3rd touchdown.
Couple of rushing scores for Yomas and that,
Touchdown
as well as the block punt. That one, a couple nice juke moves, able to roll over a body into the end zone. I think it's safe to say that the route is officially on.
This hasn't been much of a contest so far. And the extra point is missed by the Blue Devils.
Michael, I was going to comment that despite the missed field goal, Mason Overton has looked very good on his extra points. That one plenty of leg, but he misses it wide right.
Actually, not Mason Overton on that kick, Garrett. They went in a different direction. I don't know if there's an injury that Overton is experiencing or they're trying to sort some things out. But we'll be back with you after this. 34-0 Blue Devils. It's been
Caleb Hall's. Is that Caleb Hall's room?
We're back now here at Corbett Field. Alex Hall with a mixed extra point, an ex-soccer player in the Victor soccer program. He converted over to football, but didn't really work out right there. 34-0 instead of 35-0, but 4 minutes left to this first half, and Gates Chile with another chance on offense now.
Yeah, Alex Hall did have the missed extra point, bounced back with a nice long boot on the kickoff. Just trying to get some other kickers going. Mason Overton's already been busy at work with the 4 extra points and a missed field goal.
And Garrett, this is the things that you see when sectional time is approaching in high school football and high school sports. Coaches want to try some things out, see what they got, and see if they're going in the best direction with their players when the games really start to matter most.
Yeah, it certainly helps to have a 34-point lead as well.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why they're going for it right now. Joseph Garcia on the carry. It's a gain of 5. And Gage Chile still stuck in that Irondequoit game, a thriller that we had 2 weeks ago. They're running the ball right now a lot on offense, and Garrett, we kind of bashed it and thought that it wasn't really the move on the last drive. I don't know if they're going to make the change. I don't know if they have another identity on offense, and you see here they're going heavy. They're handing it off again, but right there is a swarm of Victor defenders in a very short gain, maybe a gain of 1 on the play for the Spartans.
You mentioned our Irondequoit game that we did here 2 Fridays ago. Could not be polar opposites of what we're seeing at Corbett Field here tonight. Victor up 34-0 with less than 3 minutes to play now in the half. Gates Chile hasn't even been able to sniff the end zone. One time they got it past midfield. Adam Ruffalo just stripped the ball right from Vance. Took it 60 yards to the house.
Throw to the outside to Anthony Vasquez, and he's brought down by Andrew Goodell, and it's 4th down now.
Brings up 4th down.
Michael, we've seen, obviously, the changes at quarterback between Laughlin and Torres. Not expecting Laughlin to play the whole game, being up 34-0 still in the first half. Do they go back to Eric Torres, or do they maybe try out, whether it's Eli Ricci or Brandon Wilson, the 2 other quarterbacks on this roster, see if they can get somebody else going and let Laughlin get his legs under him as he's been busy the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I don't think you do it quite yet, Garrett. If you're going to make that change, you're going to wait a little bit. Handoff right here for Gage Chile, picking up the 1st down on 4th down. That's a big one. That's Tremaine Pulley.
First down, Spartans.
Probably their best play on 4th down, definitely, and 3rd down play so far tonight. But going back to what you said, for Victor, I feel like consistency and rhythm is something that you want to build on. They haven't had it the last few weeks, so head coach Jeff Mandel, he might want to keep his starters out there and just see what he's got. A deep shot to Tantalo, and he can't make the catch. Coming over right there is Adam Ruffalo. Bounces incomplete.
Yeah, I don't think Laughlin's going to be pulled quite yet, but
if this gets ugly, if this gets really ugly, Garrett,
I think in the
50s, I would expect that too.
I don't think Laughlin's going to be taking any 4th quarter snaps if things stay the way they are. But
yeah.
You see Gage finally going to the air attack with just over 1:30 left in the first half. They keep running. I think they're going to run out of time on this drive. So they go to the air attack instead, and a nice pass to Tantella, who just couldn't reel it in as Ruffalo came over there. Got his money worth on the hit.
He's such a quick safety. He can get it over there in no time. Oh, pressure by Connor Doran and bringing him down. Ball is out. Another fumble. Ruffalo falls on it. And they're going to say that's a pass and rule it incomplete. It looked like the ball kind of fell out, but it was Vance kind of throwing it away, and it's 3rd and long now.
A nice job by Jonathan Vance, just flipping the ball out, avoiding the sack. A risky play with the way the Victor defense has been playing so far.
Connor Doran had Vance in his grasps, and Vance kind of just spinning out, gets the ball away, and instead of another disaster for Chile on offense, it's 3rd and 10. Throws it to the outside to Vasquez. He just drops the ball. I mean, Garrett, there's nothing that really. He didn't have a lot of space. It's just not a good play.
Vasquez's second drop of the game.
Do they have enough time to get out?
Jonathan Vance throws have not always been on the money, but when they have, not always caught by the receivers. And Chili just going to punt this ball away.
Yeah, they want to get to halftime right now if you're Gage Chili. But I think Vasquez on that play was just kind of worried about the hit that was coming towards him. And an all-around excellent performance by the Victor Blue Devils defense so far here tonight. Another fourth down punt from the Spartans. Ruffalo back there. Going up the middle. Spinning down about the 35-yard line. And this Victor offense, expect them to probably just run the ball, run this clock out, and run into the locker room happy with a big lead so far on senior night.
Yeah, not many bright spots so far for Gates, but Jonathan Vance has done a nice job punting the ball. Not what you want to be saying.
Especially from the quarterback, too.
Yeah, usually you want to keep your punter off the field, but the one bright spot for Gates is he's kicked some booming punts, and Ruffalo has not returned one yet for a touchdown, although he does have a fumble recovery that he took all the way.
And Andrew Goodell right there.
Andrew Goodell
With a short gain for the Blue Devils. Clock will tick down
give folks a reminder.
within a minute.
No timeouts by either team, expecting to just run one more play, probably, and let this thing get to halftime.
And we'll see, Garrett, if we can get our Molly V's ice cream at halftime. That's what I'm looking forward to. We already mentioned them once before, but we can't mention them enough. Victor's just going to kneel on this ball at the end of this half. Molly V's, excellent ice cream. The premier ice cream of the Victor area. Could you say the premier ice cream of the Finger Lakes area? Molly V's, excellent ice cream, excellent service. And we're excited for getting some ice cream here at halftime. And we'll bring you into the broadcast booth. Michael Ricci alongside Garrett Clar. This is an excellent first half, Garrett, by the Victor Blue Devils. Could they have asked for anything more?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they were thinking they were going to be up 34-0 at halftime. So a hot start. They continued it pretty much the whole half. The offense was hot. The defense was hot. The special teams was hot. Nothing really going Gage Chili's way. Victor just absolutely dominating this football game so far.
All things going right for the Victor Blue Devils so far in this first half, 34-0. We'll be back with you after halftime, 10 minutes. Back here to start off the second half, Michael Ricci alongside Garrett Clar. And Alex Hall, the kicker for the Blue Devils, gets it away. And right there is Giddens. There's a pile. And Garrett, it was a real rough first half for Gage Chilite. What do you think they talked about in the locker room at the break to try to work on in this second half?
Oh, Michael, I can't even imagine what their coach was saying in that huddle. Gates Chilite just looks like they don't want to be here, but the best starting field position after the return there from Giddon. So the Gates Chilite offense will come back to work. Like to see some more creative play calling.
Yeah, I think
for the QB draws.
Yeah, I think that's where you start. You want to see more than just running the ball from Gage Chilite to really give them a shot. Well, they're just going to run the ball right there. And I don't think you're really going to see a lot of nuance outside of just power football, but it hasn't been working for them so far tonight. And I don't really understand the direction that they're trying to go in and look for.
Yeah, the fullback dive, not a typical 1st and 10 play, but they went with it on this occasion. And if you're Gates Chilite, probably not going to win this game. Scoreboard is putting the game a little too far out of reach, but what can you establish towards next week? Because next week's the last game, and Gates Chilite is playing for their playoff lives, trying to still get into sectionals, and this is certainly going to put them out of the playoff picture.
Toss on the outside to Pulley. He gets laid out, and it's going to be 3rd down and manageable for this Spartans offense.
Yeah, I guess the Spartans offense should at least try to control the clock and keep the ball out of Victor's hands, but that's not going to bode well for their comeback. So I think we're going to see the Spartans just continue to run the ball and just get some confidence going into next week, get some other guys going maybe that usually aren't seeing a ton of catches or carries, and get some more confidence back into Jonathan Vance's mind.
So 3rd and 3 for this offense. Garcia with a very short gain, so it's 4th and 2.
Ball carrier number 9, Joseph Garcia.
For Gage Chilite.
4th and about 2 yards.
Yeah, just straight halfback dive there from the Spartans offense. It'll bring up a 4th and 2 in which they're pretty much forced to go for it. They're going to leave the offense on the field. Maybe a little trick play here or something to spark some energy into the crowd.
You know, Garrett, I would have said that in the first half, but I've said it a few times looking for something new out of this offense, and I don't think you're really going to get it. So, we'll see. 4th and 2. Vance under center. Toss outside. Garcia looking for a 1st down, and they're going to give it to him. 1st down for the Gage Chilite offense after a pickup and conversion on 4th down. So, we'll see if Gates really looks to do anything besides run the ball, but it doesn't really look like that so far.
Garcia, a very physical runner. He's been able to get downhill multiple times now and drag some defenders with him. But still barely able to get the 1st down there. That will spot the ball at midfield, though. The last time the Spartans had it in Victor territory, Adam Ruffalo, the 60-yard strip and score. Gates Chilite trying to stay away from the turnovers. Keep possession of the ball this time around.
Vance on a quick slant right there. It's going to be completed for a nice gain by Tantalo.
Tantalo was smothered, but a nice pitch and catch. Just plays like that from Gates is what you want to see. Get the ball out of his hands, get it to the wide receivers in versions other than just screen passes, whether it's quick slants or just quick go routes. But try to force the issue a little more and get it into 2nd or 3rd and shorter than 5 yards or so instead of just running up the middle 2 times and then panicking on 3rd down.
And it was good coverage by Nick Kriegelstein on the outside, but Tantalo, just using his size, can kind of just fend him off and shield him off and just create a nice play and catch. Back to the run goes Gage Chilite, and they're stopped right at the line of scrimmage, so this is 3rd and 4.
Gates Chilite already taken more than 3 minutes off the clock on this drive. If they can get another 1st down, take even more time. Again, maybe more just for the possession that they're going to need next week, and then if they do, sneak into the playoffs, because they obviously have not adapted the strategy of trying to win this game.
3rd and 4 now for this Gates offense. Throwing it to Garcia. and he can't make the catch, and it just bounces off his chest. And it's good defense by the Victor Blue Devils, and it brings up another 4th down on this drive.
See if Gates Charlie can convert again. It went for it last time on 4th and 2. It was the pitch to Garcia. They tried to go back to him there on 3rd down. You mentioned the ball bounced right off his chest. A good delivery from Vance. Maybe a hand in there from Kriegelstein out, playing that cornerback position.
But another 4th down. The toss last time worked for Gates Charlie to pick up the first. We'll see what they go with here on 4th down. Rolling out right is Vance. Vance under pressure, just going to float this one downfield, and no one's home, so it's another turnover on downs for this Gates Charlie offense, and Victor with good field position now. We'll see if who comes out on this field, if it's starters or not.
Looks like Eric Torres is jogging out there to take control at the helm for Victor. So we mentioned Jake Laughlin probably not going to play the full game, but it's Torres to start the 3rd quarter. Laughlin likely not going to get any snaps this second half.
Yeah, so this looks like the 2s group for the Victor Blue Devils offense. And I said that they're looking to get momentum because they've been kind of stagnant on offense the past 4 weeks. Victor has. But this has been a good showing tonight. This shows how you can win. This shows how you can rely on your defense and your special teams and just playing a good, sound, fundamental game from the Victor Blue Devils. No turnovers, converting on turnovers, scoring touchdowns. So Victor, they've seen enough out of their starters and their offense. They're feeling good. And now the 2s come on to get their opportunity before sectionals to show the coaches anything that they want on tape.
Yeah, Victor, a little uncharacteristic of them, burning a timeout after the turnover on downs. Not sure if they had the right personnel on the field. Looks like it'll be a full minute as the teams will huddle up.
So 1st and 10. We'll see what Victor does here, Garrett, but I think they're going to hand this ball off to Andrew Goodell a few times. I can see him getting a good amount of carries, good workload before sectionals comes around for this Victor team. And an impressive regular season so far. Andrew Goodell right there. He's got space. Goodell down the sideline. There's his speed. Touchdown Victor and touchdown for Andrew Goodell. Taking advantage of the opportunities that he is getting. 40-0. Victor's on their way to 7-0.
And Goodell, the track star, his dad is the track coach. Gonna be an absolute unit in track. A force to be reckoned with. Definitely going to be at the collegiate level, but first he takes care of business on the football field with a 50-yard touchdown run. Nobody even came close to catching him there. That's what happens when you get Goodell out in space.
And Alex Hall, who missed the extra point last time, kicks this one up and through. So 41-0 here at Corbett Field on senior night. An absolute blowout, and it's not even close. And Garrett, let's bring everybody into the broadcast booth, and we'll talk about our podcast, CR Sports. That's what you see at the bottom of your screen right there. And we just talk about, we try to go out weekly. A few times a month we get a podcast out there talking about all sports going on, baseball, football, college basketball and football. And we're excited for you to hear about this. And if you're interested, follow us on Instagram at CR Sports and follow us on YouTube, as well as Spotify. But Garrett, this has been a game where Victor has had complete control, and I think our attention's going to focus over just a little bit right now to what's going on at the Victor soccer field.
Yeah, it's a great game between the Churchville Chi Saints and the Victor Blue Devils in girls soccer. Victor soccer needing this win to try and make the playoff cut for sectionals, sitting in the 8th seed right now. Similar situation to Gates Chi in our football game, but the Victor faithfuls supporting the girls soccer team. As the football team looks like they're going to be on their way to a 7-0 record.
There's a face mask on the return from Victor. But the girls soccer team, Garrett, they're in a battle. They're trying to advance their way into sectionals, like you mentioned. And Gates Chili trying to do the same. It's not going to come for them tonight.
Penalty against Victory.
But the soccer program here on the boys' side, already in sectional, so kind of a different format for the sectional bracket. I'm on the team myself, and we're playing on Tuesday against Churchville Tri-Li, so just kind of a little bit of a different situation. For boys soccer, you're in no matter what, and like you just said, girls soccer, you got to fight to get in.
Yeah, it's a 16-team bracket for boys soccer and more of an 8-team format for football and girls soccer. So different scenarios, but still an opportunity for any of these Victor teams to make a run, assuming the girls soccer team can hold on.
A fumbled
2-0.
A fumbled snap by Vance right there, and he just kind of picks it up and gets a first down.
Yeah,
ball.
Vance's best run of the day is off script. His snap was dropped, and he took it for about 15 yards. After the face mask call, one play, and Gates is in Blue Devil territory.
This performance by the Victor Blue Devils, it's like they've heard all the talk that, geez, they haven't been playing well. They haven't been able to get it going on offense. And what a change tonight. It's kind of like how the Phillies reacted after the Attaboy Harp in the NLDS against the Atlanta Braves, and just a absolute showing on all three phases of the game for the Blue Devils so far tonight, Garrett.
Yeah, it's been a lot of up and downs for the Blue Devils. Played some better teams, played some teams that they feel they should have beaten by more, such as Churchville or also Irondequoit, which they had to take to overtime to defeat them. And it was the defensive stop on that 2-point play from the Eagles that the Victor was able to prevail. But tonight, no drama needed. Victor up 41-0 in the third quarter. Absolute domination, not giving Gates Chili any space anywhere on the field. Wherever you look, it's been Victor. And I think we're going to continue to see that be the case this last quarter and a half.
The Vance QB run, we could just name it that, picks up a first down for the Spartans.
First down, Spartans.
And Gates Chili, they're just trying to milk this clock, it feels like, as well.
Yeah, I think Gates Chili is trying to get back on the bus and go home, as the energy level has not been there from them at all tonight. Certainly not. Down by 41 points. We thought coming in this was going to be more of a competitive game. Victor, obviously the undefeated record. Gates 4-2, dropped the first two, has won 4 in a row. They're averaging 33 points a game. But Victor's defense tonight has been so stout, and even the special teams getting involved on the board. A touchdown for the defense and one for the special teams. And Victor, a team only averaging 25 a game, has put up 41.
Garcia right up the gut, getting a nice gain for the Spartans on offense, showing his speed and his power all in one.
First down, Spartans.
It's a first down for Gabe Chili, and this is the best field position they've had so far in this game.
Garcia's been a bright spot for the Spartans. He's had many nice runs.
Besides the but you're right, Garrett. Garcia's been that guy, and the fumble that was back in the territory over there when it was just a fight for it. Outside of that one, Garcia's been that guy in offense for the Spartans. And this Vance QB draw that we've seen countless times tonight so far.
Yeah, so with tonight's action and then one more week to play, as it stands, Victor, the 2 seed, will face Churchville Chili at the 7 seed, a team they just saw last week, and it took a comeback to defeat them on the road by 1 point on their last drive of the game. But obviously things probably will and can change. Gates Chili might not even make the bracket, but if things stand the way they are now, they would play East, who's combined with World of Inquiry. Samir Jackson, the quarterback of that team, an absolute dual threat. They've been dominant.
And that play right there, incomplete off the hands of Caleb Giddens, just kind of the story what's been going on for Gates Chili so far tonight. The play is there. That's an easy touchdown if he catches that one. Kind of a little bit behind him from Vance, but that's a grab you need to make. And you got to pick up your quarterback in that situation. You want to give him a feeling of at least some success. You can say we didn't get shut out. We put points up on the board. But on 3rd and 4, we'll see what happens. Well, there's Vance up the middle. driving his way down to the 5. First and goal now for Gage Shiloh.
Yeah, you mentioned that last play. Vance and Giddens unable to connect for the second time. Felt like both of those should have been touchdowns. First, it was the overthrow by Vance. You mentioned the throw a little behind Giddens, but a ball he needs to reel in and take it in for 6.
And he was wide open. He had a lot of space to turn and move, too, Garrett. Another wasted opportunity like the first one in the first half, in the beginning of the game for Gage Shiloh. That one a little bit more important. Could have changed the momentum of this game. Vance on the draw, up the gut, touchdown for the Spartans.
Touchdown, Spartans.
Their first tonight, and they do not get shut out here on senior night, but this is obviously against Victor's backup defensive players.
Yeah, not near as much resistance, though, from this defense. Vance could have practically walked in the end zone. He jogs in untouched. Gets Charlie finally on the board. Cuts the lead, pending the extra point to 35.
The kick is up and through.
Michael,
41-7.
Football is a sport unique to other fall sports, and in many ways, pretty much any other sport where they're just playing once a week. They'll never play twice a week. It's every Friday night mostly. Sometimes they'll get a Thursday or a Saturday game. But you prep the whole week for this game. You watch a ton of film. You have the scout team. You're practicing the other team's plays. And just to come out and lay an egg like Gage Shiloh has tonight is really disappointing. Seeing this is the only game and they'll have to wait a whole nother week before they can get this bad taste out of their mouth.
Yeah, and putting good tape up against a backup defense is something that, if it was against the ones, or it was against a starting defense, you could hang your hat on that and say, okay, we at least got drives together in the second half. We cleaned it up, our act in the first half. We got it together. But against a backup defense, this is kind of expected. And Gates, this is going to be a long week for them, Garrett. There's no other way around that.
Yeah, they're going to have to watch a lot of film, and film session's probably not going to look too pretty if they break down everything that happened. But they're going to have to bounce back and be ready next week as they take on Webster Thomas on the road, looking for a spot in sectionals. Webster Thomas, almost certain they're not going to be competing in the postseason, but they'll play the role of spoiler as Gates will have a chance to play an extra week. Possibly more.
The story of tonight's game, not anything going right for this Gage Shiloh team. Kick goes out of bounds. So good starting field position now for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, the kicking game had been strong. First the punting and then the extra point, but the kick goes out of bounds there. Victor will get it at the 40.
Third down. I want to take a first.
Result of the penalty is 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils.
So now here comes the Victor offense once more, led by Eric Torres, the now backup quarterback for the Blue Devils. After a great run by Andrew Goodell, he just bounced that to the outside, and he showed his speed when he gets space. Here's Nate Harris. Gets brought down after a very short gain.
Nate Harris now in the game. Andrew Goodell seeming to be the third back, although he's worked his way up into more snaps. We'll see if we see him at all the rest of the game, or if they give it to Harris. Maybe work a couple more of the running backs in that backfield.
Well, Garrett, let's look at the MLB playoffs right now. I know you're a big Orioles fan, and it was a disappointing postseason for yourself. After over 100 wins and winning the American League East, one of the best divisions in baseball, just kind of laying an egg against the Texas Rangers. No other really way around it, Garrett. Nice run by Nate Harris right there, picking up the first down for the Blue Devils. But I got to get your take. What do the Orioles have to do to improve on a season in which they had a very successful regular season, but a very disappointing postseason?
First down, Victor.
Yeah, they got to obviously bring up a couple more young stars. Holiday probably going to make the roster to start next year. He will be in spring training. And then improve the bullpen. Maybe just add a couple more veteran bats. Some of those at bats in the postseason. Even Adley Rutschman didn't look great, although Gunnar Henderson was a star in his first postseason. So I'm going to keep an eye on is the restructuring of the playoffs. A lot of teams have been we've been wondering if we're going to see it because that all three 100-plus win teams went out in the first round that they were involved in. Only one of the teams got a win, and that was the Braves. The Orioles and Dodgers clean swept. When you take a week off from a sport that's meant to be played every day, sometimes your timing is just a little bit off, and it's allowed teams like the Phillies and the Rangers to catch fire.
Yeah, it's a lot of teams that know what they're doing, and they've been there before. Outside of the Rangers, the Phillies, obviously, they were in the World Series last year. They know how to get it going in October, and I think you're going to see a rematch of last year's World Series with the Astros and the Phillies. This is a Philadelphia squad that, I mean, they just took it to Atlanta, the best team in baseball practically all year, and it was impressive. And like I said earlier, this is a response in which the Phillies had to those attaboy Harp comments, and that's what the Victor Blue Devils have kind of had tonight. They've had a response. They've had a response to all the talk. They've had a response to everybody saying, well, we're not that good of a team. We're probably the worst 6-0 team. But this is a team that's showing that when they put it together, when they put a full game together, and they get started quick and they get started fast, they're a power in Section 5, and they got a real shot at sectionals this year.
Yeah, it all started with that first big bang play down the middle to Ruffalo. The dot from Laughlin set the tone for the rest of the game. And ever since, it's been the Blue Devils getting into the end zone, although we saw Gates finally get on the board last possession. Football, one of the fall sports that goes on a little bit longer than other ones. You mentioned you guys have sectionals for boys soccer starting on Tuesday. Victor's still one more regular season of game to play on Friday. The following Friday, they'll kick off their postseason run, likely as the 2 seed. Clock runs.
And Garrett, who's the 1 seed in sectionals?
East, and they're combined with World of Inquiry. So 2 of the city schools, smaller populations combined. A lot of the city schools you see play in the 7-on-7 football league.
Now explain to our viewers why, even though if Victor is undefeated, they'll probably be the 2 seed.
Well, because East/World of Inquiry will also be undefeated, and the average sectional points there is going to be higher than Victor's because of the losses to not the losses, because of the wins against teams who are in lower classes. It affects the sectional points more, and that's likely the reason why East will be planted as the higher seed. But both teams could be going into the sectional final if they run the table at 10-0. What a matchup that would be.
Yeah, and there's an injury on the field for Gage Chilai. We'll be back. We're back here after the injury. On Gates' side of the ball, he walked off under his own power. Looks to be all right. And Torres just going to punt this one away on 4th down and 20. And it kind of takes a Gates Chilai bounce. And there's 30 seconds left of this third quarter, Garrett.
Yeah, an update on how postseason high school football works. The seeding is actually not determined by average sectional points. It's determined by the win percentage of teams that you've played against, East containing a higher winning average winning percentage against the teams they've played than Victor. So if they win out, they will maintain the 1 seed. Victor likely locked in at the 2 seed after tonight. It's Canandaigua in that 3 slot with a 4-2 record.
And now with Gage Chila getting the ball,
When you go on break.
yeah, I can get that for you. So we're back. Michael Ricci alongside Garrett Clar. Vance over the middle looking for Tantalo.
Absolute strike from Jonathan Vance, showing off the arm, but ball off the hands of Tantalo. Bring up 2nd and 10 now.
Kind of bobbled up there for a minute. He almost had that one-handed grab. Couldn't corral it, couldn't haul it in.
This game's going to end before 9.
And 2nd and 10 now from their own 40 is Gage Chila in the Spartans offense.
It's over. 8:40.
We'll get it to 9. Probably not much beyond it, though.
Vasquez in motion, gets the ball on the toss. Cutting up field at about the 49-yard line. Going to bring up a 3rd and very short.
Finally, a little bit of what I guess you could categorize as trickery. Technically counts as a forward pass, but flips it to Vasquez on what is pretty much a jet sweep to the outside.
And that's going to be the last play of this 3rd quarter. On to the 4th we go. Here at Corbett Field, it's been all Victor all night. Just don't say anything. So we're back to start off the 4th quarter. Vance up the middle for a first down for Gage Chila. And Garrett, let's just talk about our podcast a little bit more. One of the people that you see very frequently on our show is guest Colin Kubrich. And Colin, we're excited for you to be joining us here tonight. What has it been like as a fan at this senior night? I know you're going in between soccer and football after this has been a complete blowout so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great atmosphere at both events, and I'm excited to watch the rest of this one. You know, Victor seems to have the upper hand, but looks to be an exciting game.
Colin, can you give us a recap of the girls' soccer game? It looks like they won. Maybe the score and how the goals were achieved.
Yeah, the Victor girls soccer team won 2-0. Also, senior night over there. It was a great game all around. Both teams played really well. I believe Liv McKinnon had one of the goals. Some great finishes from the team over there, though.
So did the whole student section march over there at halftime? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, that's usually what we do. Everyone makes the jog over, and then we eventually come back to the football game.
Yeah, after 41-7, just a few points in between from when you left. Victor, Colin, I'll give you an update with their backups in on defense and on offense. And Gage Chila is still running their starters out there and just kind of running run plays so far. Not a lot of explosive plays on this Gage Chila offense, and they've just kind of stuck to the running game up the middle. You've seen a lot of Jonathan Vance just kind of on the QB draws.
Yeah, Jonathan Vance has been a heavy part of the Gates Charlie offense. Tried to get Giddens, a couple missed connections there, and Garcia has been another vocal point of the offense, but Jonathan Vance does have the lone score for the Spartans.
Oh, they're actually going to throw the ball to the outside to Vasquez, and it's a nice tackle by the Blue Devils. A couple of guys on that play. Short gain. But Colin, you're the guy that comes onto our show a lot of the time for the NFL. We were talking about the postseason baseball atmosphere and climate so far, as Garrett's been disappointed with his Orioles. I know your team, the New York Giants, I don't know how you can assess their play so far this season, and as a Cowboys fan myself, I'm not so happy either, but in a different way. As you look at this NFL season, what's your biggest takeaways so far, just 5 weeks in?
Well, I think the Giants are battling with some serious injuries with, three of their best players on their team. Obviously, Daniel Jones, the quarterback, Azeez Ojulari, and Kayvon Thibodeau. But it's kind of a win if we lose every game, because then we get Caleb Williams, and I would be so happy if we get the first pick in the NFL draft. Probably more happy than winning the playoffs, because he is a once in a lifetime type of prospect.
But then you have to eat that salary cap hit of $40 million a year by Daniel Jones. I don't know how that's going to work out for you.
That's only for 1 year, because it's only 2 years guaranteed. So we can. If we
just cut him though.
If we cut him after 2 years, we don't take a cap hit.
It'd be what a shock, what a change, what a sophomore slump really in this whole Dable and Shane run offense and organization. There's Garcia going up the middle for a first down for the Spartans, and they're inside the red zone now.
I think it's more tape than really scouting came out about the Giants, and you mentioned all the injuries. Saquon's also been in and out of the lineup. A lot of teams just preparing a lot more for the Giants. They just look a beat slower than last year's team, who really exceeded everyone's expectations. And I think it's, in a good way, for Giants fans, sort of maybe showing something that Daniel Jones is actually not the franchise guy. A lot of false hope after last year.
Vance looking for Vasquez in the end zone.
It's looking like they are going to be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, but this is a loaded quarterback class. Wouldn't it be mad settling for a guy like Michael Penix Jr. or someone else?
No, not at all. And like you said, you really can't go wrong with any of the prospects. But Caleb Williams would bring this franchise to life.
That's a questionable take, but the Giants have a lot of other problems outside of quarterback.
He said bring to life. He didn't say bring him a Super Bowl. How would getting the number one draft pick not bring a franchise to life?
Yeah.
Well,
he is.
So far this year, the Panthers haven't really been brought to life, I think, with Bryce Young. But there's the big talent gap, I feel like, with Caleb Williams and Bryce Young. Maybe the Panthers made the wrong decision instead of going C.J. Stroud.
If the Panthers do end up with the number one pick, do you see them drafting Caleb Williams?
The Panthers? I would see them trading down, probably. And that would be a tough decision, obviously. But I don't know. You can't go wrong, really. If you draft Caleb Williams, you can trade Bryce Young for maybe his first or even a second, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
And Colin, this is always kind of a premature thing, but you see all the talk show networks do it. Who has been the most impressive team in your eyes so far this season, and who is the clear Super Bowl favorite to start off this year?
It's got to be the 49ers. No one has competed with them yet. And I've heard rumors that they might be in the Devontae Adams sweepstakes. Oh wow. A couple broken tackles there. But the 49ers look absolutely unstoppable. The only thing that I could see stopping them is injuries. And there have been a lot of injuries this year, and you just never know.
Yeah, that's Joseph Garcia on that play. He made two guys fall down after they kind of held on to him for a little bit. He spun his way inside the 5-yard, or just outside the 5-yard line, for the Spartans offense. We're going to see if they can get another touchdown at the end of this game with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left of this contest so far tonight on senior night at Corbett Field. But Colin, I have to agree with you. The San Francisco 49ers have been unbelievably impressive so far to start off this 2023 season. And it was very painful to see my Cowboys go down in the fashion that they did. This is Vance just going to run it into the end zone himself. That's a touchdown for Gates Charlie. So 13 to 41 is the score now. But this is obviously against the Victor's backups. But a team that has been playing backups because they've been blowing teams out is the San Francisco 49ers. And it's really the combination of talent that they have and the coaching with Kyle Shanahan that is just flawless. Day in and day out and week in and week out that you see from them so consistently.
I've been most impressed with Brock Purdy. I mean, at first I thought he was a system quarterback, which I still do think to an extent, but he's been playing flawless.
I'd agree it's a little bit of both. Extra points up and through, 41-14. We'll bring you back into the broadcast booth. Michael Ricci, alongside Garrett Clar, guest Colin Kubrich. He's on our podcast all the time. You can see that on YouTube, Spotify, and on Instagram. Follow us at CR Sports. And this has been a real blowout from the Victor Blue Devils tonight. 7 minutes left. Garrett, we didn't expect this. Colin, I know, is an outsider, not really going at this game from a broadcasting angle. Did you expect this as a fan?
No, I didn't. I mean, walking around school, I heard that this Gates Chili team is a solid team. But to destroy them like this was very surprising to me. I mean, pure dominance from the first snap of the game.
Yeah, and we were talking about the talk around school saying Victor's been kind of out of sync for the past 4 weeks. Do you think that they've rubbed off that rust so far tonight?
I think a little bit, and I think they're also getting healthy. They were probably slumping a little bit. You win a couple games, you get kind of complacent. They've been battling a bunch of injuries as well. So I think it's a combination of all those things, but as long as they peak at the right time, they're going to be in great shape for sectionals.
Yeah, bringing guys back and losing guys at the same time, it's kind of that plus and minus system that they have going on. Losing Noah Ruffalo, and then bringing back Anthony Battaglia, and we know Jackson Pelosi's on his verge back for sectionals.
Yep, that's going to be a big addition back in the middle of defense. So we'll see what this team has in store.
The middle linebacker position is a key position on any football team, and Victor's just been decimated. Cam Ryan tore his ACL during the cross season. He was originally going to be starting there. Then it was Jackson Pelosi, went out with the shin injury, and now Noah Ruffalo, you see him hobbling around on crutches. So really down to like the fourth string guy. That linebacker group was really weak. Hoping to get Jackson Pelosi back for sectionals though.
Yeah, I think actually Dre took over for all those injuries. Not his typical position, usually a defensive end, but he's been doing a great job there today. Yeah,
a lot of touchdowns that you've seen from him. He really stepped up into that role as a junior, playing linebacker, a position that he's not super familiar with, and then at running back he can kind of just pound that ball in once they get in those first and goal, second and goal situations.
Yeah, he definitely takes a beating at both positions, but great job hanging in there.
You see the score is 41-14 now. Similar to an NFL game that we had a lot of hype for. Score is looking very similar to that Sunday night game between the 49ers and the Cowboys. We thought this game was going to be closer. We thought that game was going to be closer. Both absolute blowouts in which the backups have entered. I know you're a Cowboys fan. Dak Prescott assured he was not going to throw more than 10 picks this year, and he picked up 3 of them on Sunday night. So we've seen the loss of Trayvon Diggs, how much it's impacted that Cowboys secondary. Cowboys, I think, are going to get back on track, but the Eagles are still undefeated, so they got some ground to catch up in the division.
Yeah, I agree with you, Garrett. It's not been ideal from Dallas' standpoint in the sense that when they've played really the one good team that they've faced so far this year, they've gotten blown out in an embarrassing fashion, and they also lost a game to a team that's not very good in the Arizona Cardinals, and also kind of embarrassing fashion. Not the score doesn't really reflect that, but they kind of got beat off the ball and bullied around that game by James Conner and Josh Dobbs. So as a Cowboys fan, yeah, real disappointing. This is a team that's knocked them out of the playoffs the past 2 years. We talked about on the podcast how I said that they have a real opportunity going into that game to make a name for themselves and say, we're a new team. This is not us from years before, but they're kind of falling into that trap that they have for the past 27 years, and it's where people say they're the same old Cowboys.
My main issue with them is not only their cornerbacks, but their defensive line and their linebackers cannot stop the run. Teams are just, you saw the Cardinals absolutely ran all over them.
Yeah, it's not always Colin. I think the linebackers they lost Leighton Vander Esch, and he hasn't really been playing that well anyways, and neither really has been Damone Clark. They don't really have great linebackers. Unlike the 49ers, they have Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, the best linebacking core in the league. They show that while having great linebackers, it really changes the defense's approach. And I know you have Micah Parsons, so you can move him to linebacker. He's a great linebacker, but he at the end is kind of more explosive, and that's kind of what they need from him. We'll see if they make a shift. But I think I really blame a lot of it on this Cowboys defense in the secondary especially. I know the 49ers, Colin, they run the ball really well against pretty much every team. And
schematically, they toast everyone.
Christian McCaffrey's an absolute beast, and you kind of expect that. A punt right here from the Blue Devils, and that may have touched a Gage Chili guy, and if he did, that would be a fumble. We'll see what the officials rule. We'll get back to our NFL talk in just a moment, but this will be Gates Chi-Li ball, 1st and 10. But anyways, what I was saying is Dallas was just getting gashed down the field. It was a poor performance by their safeties, Malik Hooker and Jaron Kearse especially, and Donovan Wilson too. Actually, less on Hooker. It's more Jaron Kearse and Donovan Wilson. They've been kind of awful. Two guys that you've relied on in the past, and we bring you back in now. It's been a disappointing season for Dallas because you've beaten up on really bad teams and you haven't shown up in the one really good team you faced, and then you lost a game to a bad team.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an interesting season, and I just would like to talk about the disappearance of CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, so I blame that 100% on the scheme. That's Mike McCarthy. I think the plays that he's running just aren't really utilizing CeeDee Lamb. Nice run right there by Tremaine Pulley, the running back for this Spartan squad. And it's going to be a 2nd and short. But CeeDee Lamb, Colin, you really haven't seen him getting a ton of targets. And this new Texas Coast, West Coast offense, whatever you want to call it, it really hasn't been working. I don't like it at all. Maybe it's better than what Kellen Moore had, but both offenses, both schemes are something that are kind of not fun to watch and just kind of something that when I do it, why don't you explain to what I do? I bury my head into a pillow at night and just kind of scream at what I see from this Dallas Cowboys team. And that's a good run by Pulley again on the outside. 1st down for the Spartans at about the 25-yard line. And that's something you haven't really seen from Dallas. Nice runs on the outside.
And it's kind of interesting because I feel like a lot of the time they're trying to prevent Dak from throwing interceptions. Yeah, he threw a lot of interceptions last year, and he's been down a little bit this year. But with the interceptions going down, the scoring has gone down. It seems like they're taking less downfield shots, putting the ball in harm's way a lot less, but at the same time they're scoring less. So it's kind of interesting with the different scheme.
Yeah, that's a good analysis. I think that this Cowboys team has to figure out something different on offense. Now, you could give them the benefit of the doubt saying it's only 5 weeks in. They're still learning a new scheme. They're learning how to be receptive to plays from a new play caller in Mike McCarthy. But you're a professional football team, and you've had months and months and months to work on this. This is something you've been talking about the whole year, the whole offseason, saying we're going to get back at the 49ers, and they're not going to be ready for what we have. And then even hearing Micah Parsons go on his own podcast and saying, oh, they won't be ready next time. Micah, I love you. You're one of the best players in the league. You're one of the best players this league has seen in the early years of his career. But you haven't shown it yet so far against the San Francisco 49ers. To be frank, the game that they played in the divisional round last year was much more impressive in the sense that you could look at the defense and go, they shut them down. It was on Dak Prescott 100%, and that's what it was. And the scheme. I think the offensive play calling was bad in that game, and it was bad in the game they just played. But you've seen the evolution of Brock Purdy and how he's a way better quarterback, and he's like a machine. He doesn't throw picks, and it really makes the Niners team extremely dangerous.
One team I want to talk about is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Garrett's Steelers 3-2, surprising win over the Ravens.
Surprising, but also that's how they play. It's divisional games. It's a rivalry game.
Right.
Anything can really go. Kenny Pickett moves to 10-7 as a starter.
Primetime Pickett.
It wasn't a primetime game. Doesn't mean he couldn't get it done. That connection between Pickett to Pickens, it was back in full swing. And I mean, I think really it's hard to evaluate Pickett without firing Matt Canada, because Matt Canada's on Twitter defending himself with burners. You saw the throw to Pickens down the sideline. He was like mad when they caught it. Did not celebrate at all. But the Steelers just pulled out a gritty win, moved to 2-0 in the division, and who's at the top of the AFC North? The team from Pittsburgh is.
Toss to the outside to Pulley. He's out of bounds, not getting the first down. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Going back to the AFC, though, it's a conference that looks a lot more wide open than in years past. The Chiefs do have a 4-1 record, as do the Miami Dolphins. The Chiefs they've looked really sloppy so far this year. And the Dolphins, they've been so explosive, scoring 70 points, and then the next week they go to Buffalo and get blown out. So the AFC, I think, is a lot harder to predict right now than the NFC, who still has 2 undefeated teams remaining. The Chiefs feel like they're not playing good football, but they have the good record, and then maybe it's a secondary contender like the Chargers or the Steelers stepping up.
And Vance running it himself into the end zone 41-20 now the score as Irondequoit gets their third touchdown, or excuse me, Gage Chili gets their third touchdown. I'm still living in that Irondequoit game, Garrett, as we had a double overtime thriller 2 weeks ago. Real different today. And 41-20, Victor over Gage Chili.
Not sure what the spread was in this game, but about the only effect that touchdown's going to have.
Yeah, obviously there's no spread in this game because of high school rules and regulations, but kick is up and good.
Been on net today.
41-21.
Kicking game from Gates has been solid.
Yeah, if you asked me, I probably would have said Irondequoit's kicking game has been solid instead of, but I mixed up Gates and Irondequoit countless times tonight. Similar uniforms as well, but different teams. Irondequoit, they kind of show that they can run the ball really effectively. They don't throw the ball a ton. I feel like that's where Gates kind of wants to go, Garrett. They want to be in that group where they can say, okay, we don't throw the ball that well, but we can rely on running the football a lot. And Victor, now with Jake Lachlan back at quarterback, as there's a cord that gets thrown down in the back here at Corbett Field's broadcast booth. But with Jake Lachlan at quarterback, Victor takes a lot more downfield shots than with Eric Torres, and I think that's really the direction you want to see the Blue Devils go in. So with 54 seconds left, Colin, we'll bring it back in here. We thank you for coming on to this part of the broadcast. We know it hasn't been the most exciting game for everybody listening out there. We thank you for tuning in, and we ask you to check out our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, it was great talking to you guys. Really cool to watch the game and talk a bit about the NFL. Overall, it was a really great time, and looks like Victor's going to get the win.
Yeah, so we thank Colin for coming on, talking with us, and talking with you. 51 seconds left, Garrett. This will just about end it. An impressive night for the Victor Blue Devils. They'll move to 7-0 on this season.
Yeah, Victor just came out ready to play tonight, unlike Gates Chili. Scoreboard doesn't reflect how dominant they were tonight. Only going to go in as a 20-point win, but they were up 41-0 at one point. All three sides of the ball were working tonight for the Blue Devils, as they feels like a bounce-back win, even though they've won 6 in a row. Obviously the undefeated start, but really struggling the last couple of weeks, having to come from behind even last week, but this one was over as soon as it started.
And it started with that big shot to Adam Ruffalo deep down the field. The best play on offense from Victor all game. Although you could talk about Andrew Goodell's play as well, a beautiful run that he had. And that'll end it, Garrett. Victor moves to 7-0 on the season. And the star player of the game, Garrett, I'll give it to you. Who do you want to give it to?
They're going to have to give it to Dre Yomas with the 3 touchdowns today. He had the blocked punt, which he picked up and returned for 6, and then the 2 rushing touchdowns. He was part of the reason that Victor was able to run away with this one.
I agree. Dre Yomas was absolutely unbelievable. Special teams, offense, defense. He did it all. He's a star player of the game for CR Sports. Check it out on Instagram. We thank you for listening to this broadcast. We got a lot better of a setup going on now, hardwired in. Audio was fine. Video paired up perfectly. A special thanks to Dewey Weimer for setting this all up, the athletic director here at Victor Senior High School. And on behalf of Garrett Clar, I'm Michael Ricci saying thank you for listening to this broadcast here tonight from Corbett Field on Senior Night.